Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back.
We're
Welcome
back.
whack.
Falcon
Welcome
Black.
whack to the Alien
That's
Earth
kind of a cool
reviews.
name.
Welcome whack. Yeah, that
That's like
sounds
a
like a
Star
Star
Wars
Wars bounty
villain.
hunter. Yeah, that's who Ryan
100%.
Gosling's
Yeah.
playing in the Starfighter. I'm Belkin Whack, and this is my nephew.
Whack
Daxter
Bell.
Whack. I don't know. But we are here to talk about Alien Earth Episode 6, which is crazy to think there's only 2 episodes left after this. Like, this is the penultimate, and then we got the finale, which I have some questions about that. But yeah, as always, you can go back. Well, I'm the affirmative Travis now. I'm joined by
I'm the back on Earth, Kirkland Patzer.
back on. Looks like Earth's back on the menu, literally in this episode. But yeah, no, just 2 more. It's things are starting to wind down, but then not at the same time because we got Dexter that ended last week. This has 2 more weeks, but then Peacemaker's still like right in the middle. Me and Taylor got Gen V, which if people like, listen to those first few episodes because me and Taylor have agreed if it doesn't hit like a certain number, we're gonna do some mini reviews. Not because we're not interested in Gen V. It's just looking at that September October schedule. We're just packed to the gills right now, and there's stuff like a big thank you because John and then Sam Green Day, people are joining on Patreon. So anytime people join Patreon for the first time, a Patreon producer, they become well, I'm talking Kirkland. Add Sam Green to that list right there. But you get to pick a movie, any movie you want us to review. So we got 2 of those coming up. We're reviewing White Man Can't Jump. We're reviewing Bike Riders. So we got lots of stuff, and there's like Halloween retro. So we're just pumping. So that's why for the next little while, like we're finish off Peacemaker, we're definitely finish off Alien, obviously. So for Gen V, I know me and Taylor are doing 1 to 3, maybe the second week. But then listen, if the numbers are kind of similar to, I'd say like Peacemaker and Alien, we'll keep going. Dexter was like a ebbs and flows. There were some highs and lows, but the YouTube maniacs, just kept us afloat, whether they hate me or not. But check out that. What else we got this week? We have Peacemaker, like I said. We have our last 10-year special dropping later on this week, our top 10 TV shows of all time, which we've never ranked at all, so look out for that. Travis talked about Alien Fede Alvarez not doing Alien Romulus sequel, and then tomorrow got some Dexter rankings and some Joker news on the Clayface set that I'm a little worried about. But thank you to our Patreon producers, the longest list ever we've ever had of Patreon producers: Aaron Brain, God, I'm screwing up. Aaron Brain, April Darkness, Jack Rant, Sam, Superbad Mike, God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Randall, Cocktail Clay, John with No H, and Sam Green. My goodness.
Almost needed like a breath of air in between that list now.
We do. We're gonna need like a part 1 and part 2, but we thank you. We thought I don't think we've ever said this publicly, but we have the most patrons. That's the producers, but same thing, just patrons overall. We've had the most ever. So a big thank you, everybody. Since GV Day has been a great time, and Sam, thank you very much for the message we talked. But it was a very kind message. So what's Taylor doing? He's sitting at home. He's playing Helldivers, trying to get up to level 25. But no, Taylor will be back next week. And yeah, penultimate's happening, but we're gonna talk about this week first. So Kirk and Pat. Well, I guess actually I will go because
You go first.
I've been gone the last few weeks. So, but I did watch the last 2 episodes today, and then I also listened to your guys' review because I heard good things about your guys' Alien 5 review. I heard people got a lot of good laughs from that, which I did as well too. So, yeah, I'm still really enjoying the show. I think I have similar cons, especially like you guys last week. I thought I had those cons, but even you more so were like really hitting the head on some stuff. But I agreed with a lot of the takes where we just didn't have the greatest crew last week, there was some decisions made, and it's always tough because like I think you guys made good calls about like the PPE and stuff, right? Because there's stuff where when the alien attacks and people do dumb things, you kind of go, well, I could almost get it, right? Because that's a huge situation. You're not prepared for that. But even then, it's tough in this world where they're literally like, oh, this is the first stage of a xenomorph. It's not like the first movie where they're literally unprepared. They're doing something completely different and have no idea what this alien is, right? Where this, they have some idea. Their mission is to collect these things. So you would think there'd be some people a bit more trained. So I agree some of that did bring it down. I saw it was a very mixed episode last week for everybody. People actually like loving it, saying it's their favorite, saying that really brought them down. I think I was right there in the middle. I don't know if I have, because you and Taylor both said last week is your favorite. I don't know if I have like a standout favorite, but I've liked a lot of the episodes. So yeah, it's so far going good. I'm liking all the storylines. This is a Travis, trope, but I'm going to bring it up. I very much would like to know if these next 2 episodes are the last, or if the hope is this show's going to continue. Because I always thought this was going to be a mini series, but I feel like the way this show's going, either we're gonna get like an MCU finale where we're gonna rush and finish a lot of things really quickly, which to me never pans out, or they're hoping for more. So if anyone knows that, or I'm gonna try and search the interwebs and find it. But no, I've been liking all the storylines for the most part. I thought last week was a good episode. I think one thing that continues, usually it doesn't bug me too much, but I think other than like since episode 1, the effects are tough in the show. They're not all time bad, but I felt like in the first 2 episodes, the xenomorph and some of the things looked their best, and ever since then, it just there's an uncanny valley. Like it never looks like the actors are working with these things, so that's kind of disappointed. But the stakes of this episode and all the storylines, because we have all the storylines with the kids and the brother and sister and Kirsch and then Wayla and Yutani, it does feel like it's all bubbling up. And this week, it felt like everything got raised big time. With my nickname too, as I go, man, we're cooking here. It's a minor spoiler, but if anything, the Alien franchise has taught you, in which I bang this drum. I know Taylor doesn't agree. I think Taylor said Dylan doesn't agree. AI will be the fucking death of us all. And if Alien has not taught us anything, there's multiple like AI sits in the show where you're like, yep, this is not going well. Whether it's by choice or whether it's by malfunction, there is bad things happening with these robots. These robots always fuck us over. Don't trust them. But for the show, very interesting kind of see where it all falls. I'm trying to be non-spoiler. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the last 2 episodes quite a bit. It's so funny that me and Taylor, that 1 week you were gone a few weeks ago, we just completely theory crafted about the guy having an alien like xenomorph in his lungs, and that didn't happen. I just laughed when I booted up today, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's over there, and we got you a new lung." Like I thought for sure it was gonna be in his body. This would be this whole storyline. No, not at all. They just wanted to see what would happen there. So it is funny to see, and that's the good thing about watching shows week to week, right? Because you get to discuss and have those things. But in your opinion, do you think this could end in 2 episodes? Do you feel like it could go in a satisfying conclusion, or do you think this needs to, with what they have left to do, needs to have another season to follow up? Maybe not on everything, but some stuff.
Yeah, I think whether we get a season 2 or not, it's going to be set up for something. I think there's just too much. It's like Pandora's box is open right now, and like we can never like advance with just being like, okay, there's no alien species on Earth or anymore. You know, like with how many grimy little fingers there are in these 5 companies, we've really only experienced 2. So like just the fact there's 5 companies, we've only interacted with 2, tells me it's like, okay, they've set up the canvas for like 5 seasons really, like just with what has been introduced. But I can't see it being like, okay, we saved the day. There's no xenomorphs on Earth after this season, and yeah, I think it's just because of what we've seen so far, and I don't think that's a spoiler for this week at all. It's been kind of set up with that throughout the whole season for me.
Yeah, because I felt like these last 2 are the tipping point, because last week was the flashback, and then this just the stuff that, don't get me wrong, I think there's some stuff they rush to. I think there's one thing with Wendy that got really fast. There's one thing with a certain couple that we moved really fast. So I am worried that that's going to happen with the finale, because we've seen that happen with Disney before. But no, overall, still enjoying the show. Like I don't think it's completely perfect. I don't think it's my show of the year. It's going to be a 10 out of 10 when we're done here, but it's like a really good addition to the Alien franchise and some new stuff, right? Like I love what they're doing with this alien thing. It's really good. We'll get into it. The xenomorph is clever, but like I'll say like the alien's like sneakily clever, like almost deceptively clever. Especially in this episode, it does something where like, oh my god, it just looks like it would be someone just scratching their arm, but this thing's scratching an arm to do something that's gonna fuck over your entire life. Like I want to know like what it's. Because usually with the xenomorphs too, it's always they just want to reproduce. I feel like take over an area, just or breed and create more. I don't know if we'll get that answer, but I wonder like what this thing's end goal is, other than obviously to escape, right? Because it's locked up right now. But I'm just curious, like overall, what is this thing? Maybe it's just that maybe it wants to breed, but same thing. Does it need a certain thing to breed? Because we've seen it in multiple things. But yeah, liking the show so far. What do you think about this episode?
Yeah. Nice. I thought that. What's the best way to say this? No, let me rephrase that. For myself, This was a major, major, major step down from where I
Oh.
was at from last week. I don't think it's particular like every episode was great until here. It's just getting what we got last week, us being like it's a flashback episode in space, and I was just shouting like, although I hated a lot of the decisions that like the crewmates were making in that episode, and
Yeah.
various other things. I just love the setting of just like that claustrophobic environment, and of course just being with like a Xeno, and then like the eyeball thing, which I agree. I think that's been like my favorite new inclusion of this show has been that little eye alien. Is just yeah, very unsettling and just very like anytime it goes from its point of view, it's like, oh man, bad stuff is gonna be happening here. And I love the
Yes.
way that it just looks at like just stares at people, and it's just like the amount of like information that it's processing. Great addition. But man, like I still fucking hate Boy Caviar or whatever the hell his name is
I thought he
so
was winning you
much.
over.
And this episode was a lot of him, and a lot of like extended
There
sequences
actually
of him
there was
narrating
not. There
big
was
dirty toes on the table. Like I just hate this character. So
there
like him
was
just
like
being
one
on
scene
screen,
with him. There was one
he's
scene.
narrating multiple times, going
He
off about his
narrates,
fucking
but there was
lost
only one
children
scene going
thing.
on.
I thought I liked the Peter Pan thing. I don't at all. It's too much. They're not even sticking to it. Everyone's like just ditching their names,
Yeah.
more or less. I don't like that at all. Just some really like goofy again character decisions, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to say too much because I want to get into spoilers, but just like from where I was at last week into this, it's just like, man, this is gonna be a show I don't ever rewatch. I don't think. Like,
Oh, really?
like
Wow.
yeah, like that was the feeling I was gonna just watch. It was just not very enjoyable. Like I really not liking Wendy's brother and like that whole situation going on. The doctor lady and her husband, like I was just like just shaking my head at so many moments. I feel like they're very
Yes.
inconsistent on like what their goal is, and in particular like the husband character, he's just a fucking idiot. Like it just seems like a situation happens as if they have like amnesia like it's not just like, oh, it's a crisis moment, and he's gonna make a mental error. It's like he's actually an airhead, and they like say something to, and I don't know. It's just for me, it feels like bad writing. Don't like the two of those characters interacting, even though it doesn't really happen a lot. I don't know. I'm kind of just rambling here, but yeah, I'm not having a great time watching this show, and
Oh.
I think it actually doesn't look that bad. Like you're mentioning the CGI. I think there is some moments that's very like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna say that. That's a spoiler. But there's some moments where it looks really bad, but just for like the camera shots and everything, like not including the CGI, like I think it looks good at least.
Yeah,
I think the show
that
is well
stuff's all
acted.
good.
Also,
It's just the CGI creatures. They all look
Yeah.
very glossy, you know?
that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. It helps that it's in more of a dark setting. Like I'm always a big critic of when it's in just daylight and it
Yes.
just looks. Looking at my son, isn't it beautiful? The classic Thor scene. But yeah, a little unfortunate. We got 2 episodes left here, and I don't think I'm going to be satisfied really with the ending. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna maybe we'll unpack it in the spoilers, but
Mhm.
I don't want to just be a Debbie Downer and just say it's all bad. But for the most part, yeah, I don't really care about the pretty much just like the Earth stuff, and like we're getting into like the politicking things with like the companies, and like that scene. Minor spoilers. That scene, I just hated it so much. I was so grumpy watching that sequence. I don't know how you feel on that one. Maybe we can get into it in spoilers.
Yeah,
But
I like the scene. I know why you don't like the character. I liked the scene. I liked it. I was completely fine with it. I don't need too much of that, but I think it was the right amount, and I liked the maneuvering the character that annoys you so much did. I thought it was a very smart, slimy maneuver, but it kind of shows like how savvy he is, right? Because it just kind of
You're not
worked
wrong.
out, very well. So, yeah.
You're not wrong. I want to see this actor in something else, because like I think he is good, but like I
Mhm.
just don't like him because of his character. It's probably like a Joffrey thing for me, where you just hate every time I see
Yeah.
that individual. So I just think of that character I don't like. But like, is that because he's written that way and I'm not supposed to like him, or like I just get irritated by the way, I don't know, his mannerism, whatever it is. It's probably just the character that I'm really not vibing with, because he's just kind of an arrogant asshole, and that's the
Apparently,
way
he's in
set up
Mickey
to be.
17, delinquent borer. So you got that.
Okay.
Since
Probably
he
a
was in
very
a
minor
Black
role.
Mirror episode, the face does look familiar now. He was in the Sandman, which I don't remember that. So yeah, he's still newer, but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
he's in 2 episodes of Peaky Blinders. Adam Parker.
So I've seen him in many
You've
different
seen him.
things.
You've seen him in a few things. Yeah, this is the first time he stands out.
Yeah.
So okay, well, let's take our first ad break, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. So yeah, let's just start with that scene. So the 5 companies, whatever they talked about this, I guess 2 weeks ago. Yeah, because the brother was talking to the kids about the 5 companies that they voted. They pretty much just said, we used to have presidents and world leaders. That didn't work. 5 tech companies rose up and took over everything, which is a scary thought, because I don't think that's like. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but like the way tech companies,
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, the way tech companies are starting to run the world right now, it's like
Consumerism just being so like
Yes.
ingrained to our society. I can definitely see that happening.
It's not far off. So anyway, so they're doing that, and then they have some sort of like mediator right before these companies. So when these companies need to figure out some sort of issue, they sit down. Like Kirk was talking about the boy wonder, he comes in, he has no shoes on, he puts his nice greasy dirty toes all over the table, while Miss Utani is on the other side, and they are debating the kind of trading of said goods, because obviously the Utani ship crashed, so it is their ship, but it crashed in a zone that does not belong to them, a city that doesn't belong to them, and also they said injured to killed thousands of people, which is a lot. That's a lot, so you can understand why there's some controversy with it, right? So they're doing that, and then so that's why there's kind of this push and pull, like we want the ship, but you kind of did some damages. So Yutani's all like, oh, we'll pay for everything, we'll give you the money, we'll compensate, we'll make an apology, but of course that's not what they want, because Boy Wonder has some sort of X, Y, and Z reason. So they start to go back and forth of, okay, I will give you the ship back, and I'll give you the stuff back within the ship. Oh, that was his point, right? Because he was saying that they brought something that broke like a bunch of like 50 different laws, because he was pretty much saying it was predatory. She was saying it was for just scientific needs, and it wasn't that. So, which I liked the maneuvering when he says, oh, I'll give you, I'll give it to you for, he said for 20 billion. She said 15, and then he said 25. And she's like, okay, well, 20 billion it is. But then what I loved is he's like, yeah, after the legal quarantine period, we'll bring it over back. And you could just see the look on her face, like, this motherfucker guy, because didn't even think about that. So what they're doing is he just got all this money, and she's even like, oh yeah, for 50 billion, I give it to you. And this is where I think the actor is doing a good job, when he's like, oh, that just wouldn't be good for the earth, like he turns the scumball of, like, in front of this council guy, saying like, oh yeah, I can't do that, because this is really bad for the planet. But he knows that he just stole 20 billion, and he's gonna clone or keep a bunch of stuff from there and then give it over. So I liked that power struggle. I thought that was the most I needed from there. But yeah, he definitely pulled a swift one, but at the same time, I don't think it's gonna matter, because that's the thing where it's like, I don't know for sure if there's a season 2, or at least with these characters, because I could see the next 2 episodes Prodigy completely just faltering, because this episode ending with multiple doors open, and now a xenomorph will probably be on the loose soon. We got a face hugger, we got whatever that nest thing is, the fucking eye goat is like looking to make it, or the eye sheep's looking its way out. I could see this character that you hate so much, you could see him dead and by next week, Kurt.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
So.
for sure. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Yeah, for the scene, well acted, like, for sure. I'll keep reassuring that, like, I think the performances are good, but like, to me, this guy, Boy Wonder, or whatever his name is, Caviar, he keeps saying that he's like the youngest trillionaire ever. And how much is $1 trillion? I don't even know.
After a billion.
Is that a billion billions?
Well, I think it's like if you get to 999, all those numbers billions, then the next one up is trillion.
Yeah, I know, but so yeah, so already these numbers, it's hard for my brain to process. I can't see it like on a sheet of paper. So if he's like
I see what you mean.
trillionaire, like he has multiple trillions of dollars, and in this debate they're like $20 billion, and he's already said like 1,000 times that it's not about the money. It's never about the money. any of these things, and like to me they're just throwing out like pennies for this debate, and
That's true.
because they're already like trillionaires, all these numbers are thrown around, like it doesn't really mean anything to me at all. Like oh my god, he got $50 billion out of Utani. What does that even mean? Like is that a major thing economically? Is that going to shift the whole outcome of how they're going to be able to run their business? It doesn't matter at all. It's like they're trading
that's true.
in fantasy dollars. So it just took a lot of like substance out of that scene for me, and it was just
Unless
like
there's
back
something we
and
don't know
forth.
about him, like maybe though he is lying, like maybe there is some money troubles, or
Yeah, but I
I
don't
think
care
there's
about that. I care about xenomorphs. You
no,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's fair.
So
Yeah, but
so
I mean,
so
in the
it,
scene of like his motivation, if he's trying to get money,
yeah.
you're like, oh, why would it matter to him? Maybe there's something going on because obviously they spent a lot on those androids, right? We don't know how much, and I think they're going to lose a bunch of money.
You're not wrong. And
now.
because
So.
I think they're saying like Wendy alone is worth like $1 trillion probably, like
Yes,
like
that's what I
something
mean.
like
Like
that.
I think maybe they could just be a lot's tied
So then say
into
like
this
$500 billion. I don't know. It just would have added a little bit more to it. I don't know if it would
Yeah.
have saved it for me at all, just because I'm really not too interested in like the economic success of these companies that I don't really know about. If it's revealed next episode that it's like he's actually money problems or something like that, I'm gonna be even more checked out of the show because I just don't care about that at all. I thought maybe when we got a little bit deeper into these companies, like I'd be invested, but and like that being said, we really haven't dove into them, so like maybe there is a storyline that I'm a little bit more interested in. But I think just what's set up with these hybrids, cyborgs, xenomorphs, the eyeball sheep, like it's just there's so much going on. And then if I have this like almost Suits type scene,
Yeah.
I'm watching like a lawyer show all of a sudden. Like I just don't care about that sequence at all. I already don't care about Boy Caviar. Really unimpressed with Utani. This generation of Utani. She's like the granddaughter of the other Utani. So yeah, it just felt like a long sequence for me personally that I was really just waiting to end, which is unfortunate. And yeah, maybe I'm completely alone in that thought process, but I don't know. That's the hill I'm on at least.
Yeah, the other one I wanted to bring, like I think you made some good points, and I'm not gonna fight too hard because the funny thing is like I'm enjoying the show, but I do when you said like you'll never watch this again. For me, it's gonna be the last two episodes that will dictate that because I've enjoyed it, but I don't think it's up there with like Prometheus or the original Alien or Romulus. Like I think there's things in here that are, but we talked about that before. I just think I've always thought the concept of Alien as a TV show is very tough, right? Because I just don't think the Alien concept that we've seen so far has been built that way. And I think they're trying their best and doing some different things. But at the same time, I think that's one thing that they introduce so many characters, which I think at times is a big hindrance on the show, especially with you brought up the husband and wife couple, right? Where okay, so which I liked a couple of weeks ago. I think you guys were a little more meh on it, or I think you were because I just listened to the reviews today. I do have to ask. Taylor said, "Look at these boys with the heart." What the fuck is that other emoji? Is it
I think
soap?
it's soap. I think
What
it's
is him
soap.
and Masson doing right now? They're in the tub. He's soap and Masson up right now. He's like, "Oh, I got something to put on." He just puts on you and me while he's having a good time. But with the couple, I loved the scene
E.
with the
Madison. E.
yeah,
Madison.
yeah. Make sure you finish first. So I with that girl, I can't remember who's the ginger girl name that they wiped her memory this episode. I can't remember.
Nibs.
Nibs. I really liked that because it is like, oh, if someone that age is throwing a tantrum, they might freak out or hit the couch or something like this. But this is not even an adult, a full like an adult synth that's like they always are a bit more powerful, right? Because they're faster, stronger, whatever. I did agree with you last week. My biggest con about that, I hated that lady run away from the xenomorph and how long it went. That bugged the
man.
shit out of me. So I
Yeah.
was with you 100% there. But with this, I enjoyed that, and this is where. This is why I think Prodigy could just fall at the end of this episode or the end of the season because they've done so many bad things. When they are like, "Oh, our best option is to mind wipe this droid," it's like, no, like this, like this already, like it's not a regular type of synth. Like it's not the exact same way they have, and that's why I just thought like that's a weird thing of they've talked about how they've taken their souls and their conscious and put them in this droid. It's like already you can't backtrack someone like that, right? That'd be like someone putting someone into a coma, but then even then, well, actually no, it wouldn't be because it'd be the same thing if even a couple weeks, if someone were going to coma and wake up a month later, you'd be a little fucked up from that, right? But at least that's like, well, you had an accident, this, and now it's kind of. I'm surprised that they didn't. prep or even lie to the other Neverland kids because literally the first conversation Nibs has like, hey, remember that you were going around like she
Yeah.
talks money like, hey, remember you were pregnant? What? Like not even to like to me lie to the droids and say, oh hey, like she got damaged and we have to wipe her, so it's gonna be a little odd, but just play along with her because we're trying to repair, right? Like because I'm sure they lie to them all the time, right? So why when you bring them in and lie to them there and saying, hey, this is what we're doing? Obviously they don't want them to know, but it's just like they would find out like it just especially when they all went on that mission. She's like, we all went together, save those people. She's like, yeah, I got no idea. So that was to me very underwhelming of a very easy issue of like, okay, I get what they're trying to do. I think they're this big company that's making all these mistakes, it's going to cost them, but I didn't think there was enough discussion of, you just have the bald, classic mean guy being like, well, wipe her, we'll make her better. But just, I wish there was some actual conversation on how this is going to work. And I do appreciate the husband kind of stepping up. And I do think the actor did a good job when he talks about how he cares about the kids. He's sold that. I think my issue is, I agree with you later. He does do some dumb stuff, but I just appreciate him standing up here. My issue was 2 episodes ago, we just learned that these two were married. In this episode,
So fucking redundant with what's shown here. Okay, sorry. I'll continue
well,
on.
no, I agree with you. Or you just need more because the thing is, okay, I quit. I'm not doing this. This goes against my beliefs. Not gonna happen. We said we do X, Y, and Z. We're going against that. Can't do that. And he goes, you can't do this without me. And then he looks at his wife. Well, could we do it with you? So yeah, I can do it. And there's no conversation between him and his wife after. There's nothing. So it's just like to me, and that especially and then I did mention this. They said, "Oh yeah, husband, you're fired." So it's not even like a disagreement. You're gonna take over a project. No, your husband's fired, let go. There's no follow up conversation. So I agree with you that they should have never just made them married. They should have just made them partners, and she screws him over because it's like that to me is a great storyline of a husband and wife working on this project. They both morally disagree on this thing. What happens when it is the line drawn and when you pick your husband over your work? But nothing really happens. She picks him. They never have a scene together, and he's packing up. So that's where I was like, oh, there's, again, juice on the bone here. And that's why I worry about this being an only one season show, because I worry that I just saw how that husband and wife, because that's wrapped up, right? He's going to face hug her. He's going to be eating it next week.
Out and so sorry. Even if that didn't happen, he was gonna just leave the island and she was gonna stay there. Like,
yeah,
are they just divorced? Like, we don't even have an interaction between the two of them. Like, it just blows my mind. And then now he's actually just dead. So, like, what the fuck was the point of even making that tie? Like, it was introduced last week. It's like they did a rewrite of the script and they like forgot to completely erase it. Like, there was a little bit of a breadcrumb there.
It's they should have just taken that out. They should have, and you easily could. You never. Like at one point they look at it's him. He like looks at some sort of photo, like it's like a cube thing or something. But it's like all the mentions of them being husband and wife, you could easily took out of the show with a editing blade. It doesn't have to. They didn't even have that many scenes together, so it was super weird that they did that, and that storyline's just done. So that's why to me that does get me worried about all the other storylines, because I just saw a storyline that was introduced 2 weeks ago just killed within, like, I'll say the next week, right? Because obviously last week was flashback, really in chronological order. It's episode 4 to 6, so it's within 2 episodes. Oh, here's this potentially juicy storyline of a husband and wife working on something they might not agree on, and then just dead. And I don't think she's much longer for the world either, because I feel like that therapy session with Nibs, that robot was at her throat. So now this robot finally, I could completely believe next week that she's going to confront her about her memory being wiped, and she might just like accidentally break her neck or spine or something like that, right? So, because she was so violent the first time, so it's just like now I feel like she'd be even more violent. So I think there's a good chance that wife is gone next week too, and then it's kind of like, okay, that's where I think that's been one that's probably the biggest negative of the show to me, is having too much going on. I think they could have taken some stuff out and then strengthened other places or people. So.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think the husband-wife storyline is just like it upsets me that it was even attempted, honestly. It like they didn't have any like husband-wife like scenes or anything or chemistry at all. They should have just been made partners. Getting back to like the Nibs thing, I thought that was going to be like a big moment just in the show. Like they wipe her brain and then she's just kind of like hidden from the other children for a little while, and it's like, where's Nibs? Like, what's going on with her? And then like they finally see her. It's almost like a Planet of the Apes situation where she's been like lobotomized, like she's just like a shell of her former self. I thought it was gonna be something dark like that, but I like
And then it was
actually
get back out there.
I said audibly, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Like when that happens and she just wakes up and Wendy's right there. It's like, remember this? Remember when you had a
Yeah.
baby? Like, are you fucking kidding me? They just wipe their brain and then they just like open access. All these other lost children can just go see her and like maybe you can make the argument, oh Wendy, you know, she can control computers. Maybe she just snuck in there, but I don't even care about that. Just like as a show, like script wise, it's just so awful to go from like this big mind wipe moment to just blowing this chick's mind of like you don't remember anything that happened this last week,
Yeah.
and she's literally hitting every single point that's happened in this season.
Yeah.
like just breaking her brain, and it's like, how did Prodigy not fucking like lock her down, or like, you know, she's gonna stay in the lab? I just thought that was so ridiculous. And then Wendy like immediately goes to just confront whatever the lady's name is, the wife lady, and like that scene was good, like
Yeah.
well
I
acted again. Like I like the back and forth, but just the placement of it, it just was so egregious to me, to use an extreme
Yeah.
word.
Well, yeah, it feels very similar, and I thought I was going to feel less so as the season went on because I was hoping, okay, there might be some situations, and the husband character did bring this up, but it was even with episode 1 or 2. No, I think it was 1. Whenever they set, I think it was a combo of both because obviously they had those episode 1, 2 premieres, so they're kind of melding in my mind. But when they sent them all into the mission, and I always was like, I can understand sending one of these very expensive robots, but sending them all, you don't know what's on there. This could go bad. But I thought, okay, we'll see how the show goes. But then there's just multiple situations like that where if these things are so unique and such a miracle, and like to me, yeah, that would be if you're taking someone's conscious and putting into a synth robot type. It's like that is very impressive. Like way to go, Prodigy, way to go, boy genius, right? But you're just sending them out there, and then this one's just like, yeah, you're just gonna mind wipe them and send them out there and just hope for the best. Like it just it's it does not, and even then I feel like couldn't you just out of they can take these consciousness in their body, is there not a way that they could be okay, we're going to take out this and this but leave those memories, like just take out, okay, take out things she's thinking she's pregnant, take out this, like mute her emotions down, but the fact like to kind of mind wipe her to like a save point, right, like in a video game, it's just doesn't make, and again, it's fine if she's the only one, but with other people, if it's like, hey, we're actually going to just mind wipe them all, which I thought, oh, that could be intriguing, right? If like someone would bring that up and be like, okay, actually, if we're going to do this, we're going to have to get them all. And that's where it could have been dramatic because the brother's there, right? So it's like, okay, how do we wipe them all? And he's right there, right? But it's not, it's, we'll wipe her and we'll figure it. They don't even say they'll figure it out. It's just, that's the solution. So it, again, felt very, very rushed, even though the conversation, I agree, the scene was good. And I really like when she's like, hey, let's sit down, figure out what's wrong, and whatever's wrong, I can fix it. And then when he's like, but what if you're the thing that's wrong? Which was good because one, it was, I think it's too late for her. She starts to cry. I think she's finally starting to realize, like, oh, okay, actually, we've fucked up a bunch, and this is kind of inhumane and stuff we're going. But it is like a good moment of, yeah, like they're trying to, with many times, Blade Runner does this, Alien, right, as far as like the AI has been made by the humans for not so great purposes, right? They might say it's X, Y, and Z in science, but really the human is at the cause of, they've created this piece of technology to take advantage or hurt other people or things, right? So that's where it is shedding a light that even though this is a AI synth robot with a little girl inside of this body, that is a better, more formed, complete human being than this woman that's, you know, been on this, you know, around for 40, 50 years, all this stuff, right? So
the other part that really bugged me was, although I am not a fan of Boy Cavalier, I thought it was just so shocking that he wasn't involved at all in the decision to wipe Nibs's brain. Like, it's literally just the Alfred equivalent, this bald henchman guy who, like, I guess you can make the argument that like Boy Cavalier just trusted him so much and like gave him the go ahead to make these decisions. I guess you could make that, but like
it's a big one.
Man, like this is just such a big moment, and this is Boy Cavalier's like pride and joy. These are like his property. He made such a big point of emphasis. Like I think it's already been shown that he's very what's the word I'm looking for? Just very like I don't know. He's very full of himself and like
he's controlling. He wants everything to be his way.
I am a
right?
genius. This is my property. Like that type of mentality. And to just have fucking this bald henchman guy should be like, no, I need them shaking hands at the fucking president's party next week. Like it just seems so
Yeah.
goofy to
Which
me. Of
again, he
like,
said that after a couple weeks ago of sending them into a near could be completely destroyed situation, right?
yeah,
So that didn't
yeah,
track for me.
no, no, not at all. And like, I don't know. It's that just whole sequence really bothered me. I didn't like the back and forth between like acting was good, but
Yeah.
like trying to buy that this is husband and wife here, and they like don't even really look at each other. Like I
No.
felt so bad for the husband character there. Like he's getting no support from the supposable person that he's married. He's getting fired, threatened to literally get shot if he doesn't get off the island fast enough.
Yeah.
And then after that, like he's just free to roam the facility and like send messages to Wendy's brother. Just has unlimited access to the lab. Like it seems like such a top secret facility. If they're firing someone, you're like literally walked out the door by
Yeah, we'll
by
help you
security,
pack.
right? Like yeah, like in those big type companies, not even like what this level of company is, just like larger companies in our day-to-day IRL. They won't even
Yes.
let you go back to work. Like they'll literally
No.
just escort you away because you could be stealing company secrets, let alone Prodigy, which is like probably well literally one of 5 biggest
In
companies in the world here.
competition with
They're
other big
governing,
tech companies.
yeah,
And
like they
stuff.
have
Yeah.
cities under them. So that just did not compute at all with me. Like the scene when he's talking to Wendy's brother, and it's supposed to be like stressful. I don't know. It just was so goofy to me because it's like there's cameras everywhere, but like this is such a
That
top secret
moment of,
facility.
like-
There's no fucking security guards anywhere. Like don't even get me started on the lab. You know, we'll get the whole lab sequence, but it's just there's a lot of things that I feel like I wouldn't normally like just pick away at if I was more interested in the story. But there's just I'm bothered while watching it, and then all these little things just pile on. So I know I said a lot there. If you have anything else to
I
add.
just love when the brother's like, "Oh, is she's safe," and him just being like that, like slow look back at the camera, and then back to the brother being like, "Yeah, she's fine." Like you like you looked dead eye into the camera, and then you proceed to like tell him a
When
bunch
they
of
sho-
stuff, right?
when they
Like,
showed the POV of the camera too, you could like literally see him like so sussly turn around, and then he's like, "She's all right. Come look at my
Yeah, come look at
computer." And I
this while
swear
we
you
block
could
the
see the
screen.
monitor from the POV. Like they're
Yeah.
kind of blocking it, but man, like you're clearly not looking at her vitals there.
And again, I appreciate that, always good to have that character in there. He's a human that's trying to do the right thing. And I thought that this is how I did not think he was going to die right now. Once he left the room to check the lab, I thought, okay, it's over for him. But I thought, what a like terrible way to get caught, like terrible in a good writing sense that, okay, he's going to turn off the trackers, but then what's going to happen is they're going to find that android dead, and then there's going to be trackers turned off. They're going to be like, well, only XYZ people could turn it off. So I thought, oh man, what a terrible, ironic situation that him doing something good is going to get him caught because he's going to turn off this tech and one happens to be dead right now. So when that thing's all discovered, it's like, well, we would have known sooner or X, Y, and Z, right? But it wasn't. It was just, okay, he turned it off. And that's how he found out that it was Toodles that was gone, which, well, I guess we can tie in here with Toodles for... Like, what was he doing in the lab? He had some tray. The
He
two
was
other
feeding,
right.
Because he calls Timothy Oliphant, and he's like, make sure to water and feed the specimens.
Yeah,
You know,
and
go
it wasn't
through
even
the
his
list.
job. It was one of those 2 jobs of the deck where they were playing footsies in the war. He's like, oh, I got it. So he goes in there, and again, this is where these people can be a bit more believable because they're children, right? They're still being trained, but still they're children. So I get it. The tray screws up. He's gonna try and open it up quickly. The door closed behind him. Again, this is what I loved is the door is like on its inches. It hasn't closed yet, but the fucking sheep jumps up, hits it, and it moves it over with the momentum. And you're like, what are you gaming
Yeah.
at? Like to me, that would not be. That's the difference where the xenomorph would do something just to specifically help itself out. And we even saw that with the flashback episode, right? The eye thing did something where this is very like you could make the argument of, okay, this all getting screwed up would eventually get the sheep thing out, but this feels almost more deliberately of just like, I'm gonna mess up this guy and just gonna see what happens. Like it has a different kind of deception about it versus a xenomorph. But that happens. The guy gets messed up. Toodles, he gets melted big time. They got some weird, like the bug things land on them. They shoot acid. They have their like I don't know some tails just going through the eyes and the mouth too. So obviously, if this was a human, they'd probably be doing something else. Not much to do here because this thing's just melting away and took him out fast. Like when he got that first acid spray, it was and he was malfunctioned done. That was the other thing that I get that he found it as far as looking. I would have thought that if any one of these characters would have perished, it would have been like, like not the whole facility, but a computer would have been popping off. That bugged me last week too. That when those little spore things got out and went into the cup, when the whole crew's like walking, like, oh, we're gonna go out to lunch, they go back to the blue screen and they show like the 8 canisters and one's red and it's blinking. You would think there'd be like maybe the mute button's not on this situation. Like to me, if one of these kid robots were to die, that's an instant. All these
100%.
computers are getting notified, but guess it's not. He goes to get Toodles, and then we haven't talked about, but of course that guy, the kid, I can't remember his name as well, but he's been kept being
Slightly.
proposition slightly, yeah, by proposition by Morrow of like, I'm gonna kill your fucking mom if you don't do this. So he went to go get Hermit. Hermit rightly sussed him out, like, nah, man, like, I'm not gonna. He's like, oh, come on, like, I want to show you something. No, I'm good. No, please, it's good for when. He's like, nah, I'm okay. Like I did like that he was like, when he got out of there, he's like, what the fuck's wrong with him? So I like that he sussed him out, but he sees that the husband, which I forgot his character, but do I really need to remember his name? R.I.P. He's gone. He sees that he goes in the lab. So light bulb, here's my chance. There's a human in there. He's supposed to be getting. Is the deal that he's supposed to take? Yeah, he's taking the human out with the thing on its face, right? Or is he supposed to wait till the
Yeah, 'cause
hugger's
he's
off?
trying to get a xenomorph, right? That's what they're trying to steal. So
Yeah,
then
so
how
they
do
don't
you get
really
a
need the
xenomorph?
hugger. They just need what's going to be inside of him,
They
right?
need him
So
to gestate.
exactly. So which you never know in the alien movies. You know, sometimes it takes a few hours. Sometimes, like, I just rewatched Romulus this week. I think we complained about that movie. It's like 20 minutes. So you never really know what the alien rules, but we're just gonna say he's gonna get there. So the like you probably meant you're gonna mention that, yeah, the husband goes in there, goes to check on Toodles. The door is completely open. Even though Toodles is there, I feel like you could probably know as the tech maker this thing's probably dead, or even close the door. Like, it's not responding at all. Doesn't close the door. The face hugger gets let out. Everything. So granted, the face hugger, I won't put that on him because he probably doesn't think that Slightly's gonna open the case and that's gonna get after him, right? But even the whole weird butterfly acid things, that was even playing very fast and loose with the rules. And even then, I guess the weird thing is, I was gonna make the case that maybe he didn't call anybody because he was going back in there after he shared that information, but he's still there, so he still cares. So you would think that even you'd see Slightly the door open some mess, he would have hit some emergency thing, right? Like, it didn't track that they wouldn't have locked this down at all.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of issues with the scene. But yeah, RP to him. I appreciate him trying to help. Good guy, nice guys finish last. But yes, very. So I think even more egregious than last week. There was some choices made just to make sure the plot goes forward, and Slightly did get him out of there through the vent, and those butterfly things are out. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen if they're gonna like. They didn't show us. They just showed the last shot of the last shot of this episode was the sheep just looking into the camera. So I'm not sure if it is a way out. If that acid is gonna melt through that. So I'm not sure. We'll get Crooken's thoughts after this last ad break. And we're back. So, what did you think about everything that unfolded here?
Yeah, this was probably never mind. I was gonna say my least favorite section, but I think the interview was my least favorite section because there was a little bit of spice in here, and I think it is revolved around the eyeball creature, like you mentioned, and just the fact that it's like coordinating sorta with the other. Like I don't know if I don't think it's talking to the other aliens. Like, hey, I'm gonna fucking lock him in there, make sure to spew acid on him. But like,
Yeah.
it's just taking. Like, it's just calculating the whole time. Like,
Because
and
it did talk to the xenomorph last week in a way, right? It called the back. Remember,
called
you
it a
guys
little
talked about
bitch or
that?
something, and then they just started scrapping.
Well, no, not that. Remember when Morrow was in there and
And then he screeched, and the xenomorph comes in, and he starts kicking his ass.
well, yeah, that's what I mean. So clearly, it has some sort of, and even then, Wendy does too. So they're kind of emphasizing there is ways to communicate with one another, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Don't
but
love that decision. Yeah, I don't know. I just was so appalled by the fact that there's like I don't think there is anyone looking at cameras other than Oliphant in this entire facility. Like they keep saying it's like
yeah, it's
top
like they're
secret
just his personal
facility.
cameras.
Yeah, there's like tons of scientists here, and I will admit like Oliphant says, like, we don't want any humans around this lab, right? Because
Yep.
it gets attracted, or like the face hugger, it's looking for biological humans. Boy Cavalier gave the go ahead. It's like, okay, only robots on this section. don't think there is a single fucking robot in this facility because nobody is in this area. I'm already still the shadow over my head of like, why is this guy still fucking in this facility, just allowed to do whatever he wants? Like he could have literally, if I was a disgruntled employee here with Prodigy, and I think this is a terrible idea. Why not just open the fucking gates and let all of these creatures out and just go ham on this facility? Nobody's even here to stop anything. Like that is the reality that could have happened if this is a
Yeah.
disgruntled employee. I'll look past that. He gets in there, opens it up, does not think for a single second that these aliens might be dangerous at any point, even though he's already made points of emphasis in this season that this is probably a bad idea to be working on these things. But I'm just going to open the door. Honestly, I'm at such a low bar right now with the show. I was expecting him to do fucking mouth to mouth with this face melted robot here. Like that's how little like survival instincts I got from this character here. Yeah, I do agree. I thought it was clever the way that the sheep locked the door, but like, man, I was already just so pulling my hair out when Toodles goes in the fucking pen, let alone this guy
Yeah.
here. Now, you made a good point, push back. He is a child, so I guess I'll give him that. But man, this scientist here, like, Jesus Christ, man, like this guy. I don't know. At least ring the fucking alarm if you
Yes.
find Toodles burnt alive. Don't open the door and go in there and get locked. Deserves to die because of his decision there. And like after he gets out, when the face hugger is out of the cage, he's knocking on the door for slightly. Like there's not a single emergency alert button anywhere in this room. Like you've already stated that like. Maybe if one of the $1 trillion robots dies, maybe since we're tracking them, maybe if their vitals just cease to exist, maybe let's raise our fucking red flag. I imagine Boy Cavalier might want to have that on his little iPod or whatever the hell they have in this day and age. But whatever, he just doesn't. He doesn't really care about that. I guess he wants his $50 billion that he just got from Utani. I'm ranting now, but this is my emotions coming into play. At one point, it looks like he's trying to make a call, which is just so goofy to me because it seems like they have like 1962 tech on their telephones here of like, this is a top secret lab. If something goes wrong, let's pick up the phone and like security, we need you right now, or like lockdown, facility lockdown, aliens out of the pen, anything like that. No, it basically goes to voicemail and he's trying to get a hold of his fucking ex-wife.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
whatever
who
he
I
said.
call
I
it,
can't
dude.
remember. This scene was so goofy. I'm like okay with it just pushing like the plot along. It's like okay, it's as if I'm playing a video game. It's like man, that level fucking sucked, but at least I'm on to the next level now. That's how I felt about this episode in particular. And it just kind of sucks to be feeling this way with like how positive I was last week. Even though there was a lot of I was more positive because I had a fun time of just being in that setting. But yeah, I don't know. I just really, really, really don't like the Slightly character either with Moreau in his ear. And it just seems so lazy that like, oh, of course Moreau just found his family in India and he has them hostage. Like yeah, okay, that's just an easy way to get this Slightly working for him. I know like I'm probably like really stretching on some of my complaints here, but like I don't know. It's one thing after the other. And I feel like it's really it's like a hangnail. I just keep getting caught on. It just bugs me so much.
That's fair. I think the only the more Slightly thing, that's the most. I'm on a complete wait and see because at the same time when you say like, oh, of course he found his family, but like he is a cyborg, and I feel like all you got to do is get into Prodigy's files. You just find his files, like, oh, he belongs to this kid, and then you get all the information, right? Like, because I feel like right now we could do that, right? Like,
You're right.
someone like I just watched a Catfish documentary where
The high school one.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, should watch that one. It's
Did
fun.
you watch it?
I
That's a
got the
whole-
gist.
Yeah, that's all. We'll do another time on what we've been watching. But like just that, there's like 2 apps they use to disguise, and they give the FBI, and he gets it right. So I can't believe a guy that's a cyborg that probably has more tech than we do, Advance, could find this. I think I need to see what happens with the story because it makes sense too. Of same thing. This is a child, so you're taking advantage of them, right? You're scaring them. It makes sense that they wouldn't go because people in real life do this, where they threaten people's family, like children's family, and they'll do things or not call the police because they're worried about their family, right? And he's using that textbook of, hey, I got your mom. I'm gonna kill her if you don't do this. So I can believe that he's not gonna say that, and I also think what is good for this. I don't know the future of the Alien franchise, but clearly we don't see these type of, since again, I think between Wendy and her brother in this shows the big disadvantage of using someone that has a previous life, right? Because there is all
Hmm.
these ties,
The
whether it's
hybrids too, just to clarify, they're hybrids. Moreau's a cyborg, and then
right, yes,
Oliphant
yeah.
is the synth. He's like the OG synth that we
Are they
know.
not technically a synth though? They're a synth
A
hybrid, right?
synthetic. Well, the hybrid
Yeah.
would have the human soul involved, and then the cyborg is like a human with
Well,
like a
no, but I mean,
robot
like
body. Wait,
the
yeah.
hybrids, those are still they're synth bodies, or well, they're just android bodies technically. What is the body technically?
Yeah, it's a completely manufactured
Yeah.
body. I don't really know how they
Okay.
get the likeness, like how they choose one to be redhead, or like ethnicity wise. Like it's kind of curious when I think
Well, I
about
think
that
they made
now.
them almost somewhat similar, right? Because they still made slightly. I looks like the same race, right? Because his mother was that race as well a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you're
So I
probably right.
think that's probably why they try and make like a. It's probably easier for their mind if you make something of almost like, oh, this is what you'd look like when you were older, right? Opposed to looking like someone completely different because you're already in an adult body. So,
Fair enough.
no, I've liked some of that stuff as far as, okay, this would show why this is a terrible idea. Because I think the first episode, we're like, oh, this is great. Like, if you could make this tech, but these are the disadvantage of it, right? So, I want to see how that storyline plays out before I'm like completely for or against it because it makes sense. I think I'm still more just like, I guess last week help was showing why Moro is obsessed because he lost his daughter, so he has nothing else. But just that he's just so like, like Waylon even said, like, "Hey, like, go home. We'll get you another mission." He's like, "No, I'm fucking doing this." It's like, that's still my hang up to this, right? But I like the actor in the role, so no, we'll see what happens. I need to see, but I guess it makes sense to me as far as he's threatening a child, right? To me, the most intrigued I am in the show, just exactly like Prometheus and Covenant, is with Kirsch because okay, to me, I really felt like the first half of the season was you have an android or a synth that's just very loyal to the boy Wonder, and we're gonna get a great actor like Timothy Olyphant to add some spice on there, right? But now there's definitely lots of them to do this, but there's some Davidisms going on because at first when he knew about slightly, because I found that revelation a couple weeks ago surprising that he could hear that whole conversation going on right between him and Moro. I was like, oh wow, he knows, but I just thought, oh, he's gonna use that to fuck over Moro. Like Moro's gonna have a plan, like meet me here, and then he's gonna be there, and that cyborg screwed. But now it's gone to the point where that lab's getting so messed up, you'd go, well, this feels like it's really past the point. And then in this episode, when the lab's destroyed, Slightly's gone with the husband, and then the boy wonder says, everything all good? And he says, affirmative. Now would have been the time I could have seen something where, okay, he had this game plan, and that's where the boy wonder could be mad of the synth going, Oliphant being like, hey, I was gonna use whatever this chat going on was to box him in, and we'd get a upper on Wayland Utani, and I screwed up here. But obviously look what happened. But him just saying, oh yeah, we're all good. I really don't know. And he already saved him once before, right? So it's not like he has the boy wonder dead. He could have easily just let the boy wonder die right there and be like, oh, he screwed up. That's an accident, right? Because he was looking over the egg and he pulled him aside and said, you don't go in there. So I don't know what it is. I don't think it's going to be like a David copy where David was just lots of times about the chaos, right? David just wanted to create and see what would happen. I don't think that's Kirsch, but I also don't know
It's got
because you're
some traits.
yeah, and that's why it's just like all these robots. I think eventually
Well,
take those traits because they just there's. I think it's just that master servant thing where eventually they override themselves. Like, wouldn't it? But I don't get that sense from Kirsch right now. Like David, from even scene 2 of Prometheus, you're like, he doesn't like being underneath all these people, right? But Kirsch, that's never felt like that. He's always felt like he's by the book, doing his job. So I'm very convinced, like he's setting Boy Wonder, all those people to go back to a death zone right now by saying affirmative.
so for Kirsch,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to help me remember because me and Taylor discussed this. I can't remember if it was a theory Taylor pitched or if you heard about, or if it was actually discussed in the
It's
show.
Taylor's theory.
Is he a Wayland Utani robot?
That was Taylor's theory
Yeah.
because he got all those access, right? And they didn't answer here because I thought that might happen when more on him at that elevator scene. When he said, oh, you're just an old toy. But he still was referring to Prodigy being an
Yeah.
old toy, right? So that would be a huge twist if he was actually like with
It would
Wayland.
kind of line up, honestly. Like he's making
Yeah.
moves that kind of benefit Wayland Utah, like that company. He's not like straight up, like just stealing eggs for Wayland Utani, like being like a Moreau in about it, but like I was right with
Is
you.
his name Moreau? I've been
I thought
calling
he was going to
Morrow
be
this whole
baiting
time.
them in and like, okay, like basically meet him at the meetup when he meets Moreau with like just his whatever security officers like ready to take him out. But in this sequence, it's like, man, this is probably the time. If it wasn't already, it's probably the time to tell your boss what's going
Yes,
on
this is
here.
the time.
Like when he's just looking at the poor husband with the fucking face hugger just on his
And
face.
Boy Wonder's up there like, woo, we're going home.
Yeah,
you
he's
know?
like, woo, with his little arms out.
And that's where it's curious with, you said, was his name Moreau, did you say?
Moreau,
Okay, I've been calling Moreau or something this whole episode.
like the cyborg guy.
Yeah. What's curious then is they had that little face off, and then if he is like secretly working with Waylon Yutani,
I did like that scene a lot.
I
between
liked
those
it
two.
too, but then I'm just curious, what is the result of those two? Like they seem kind of opposed, right? So if he's with them in a sense, what happens? What happens there? And that's what
That
I'm,
scene I took more of like, I'm the new product. I'm the next evolution of robot, and you're just like a shitty synth essentially. Like I like just that type of shit talking, less so of being like, I'm gonna bring your company down, which is another thing
Yeah,
that I
true.
found. Like Kirsch is very. He's like my most intriguing thing about the show. I think like I think the new edition of the eyeball alien, but like Kirsch. That's not really a new addition. It's the Davidisms. Like it's a similar type
yes,
of
it's
synth.
it-
It's
even
a new character, but still,
Ash, right? Like the
Yeah.
original Alien was
Yeah.
same thing. Like had back to Ramos had different motivations for what's going on. You guys saw about last week. Really, we've only gotten Bishop was the only one that's ever really been on the good side. I guess we had Winona right in 4, but I always kind of forget about
yeah,
4
I forget about
because
4. That's not
yeah.
canon.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna say this isn't canon if it keeps going this way. Which I didn't really meant to talk about this week. I didn't think it was necessary, but like I just also don't like the prequel aspect of this, and just the idea of like we are this involved with the xenomorphs on Earth, like before Ripley even interacts with it.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't really matter, I guess, because they're
No.
completely outside of like the sphere of Earth.
We
You
never
know
go
what
to
I mean?
Earth, right? Like that's the
Yeah,
only thing.
you wouldn't know.
Because I imagine what happens is they want this tech, and I imagine Prodigy falls, but like Yutani does not get everything at Prodigy, right? Like the eggs, xenomorph, all that stuff, right? And maybe they die, maybe the island's by itself, whatever. So I guess that would make sense that in the Alien movie, when they come across that again, because remember in Aliens 2, they're like, or just Aliens, not Aliens 2. In Aliens, they're like, oh, what happened? Like they grill her a lot of what happened. So I'm it's not like a make or break point. I'm with you that I think it's a difficult situation. Like I wonder if there was a way that they could have made this a sequel to like happen after the fact, like the way Romulus was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, if you're kind of, what is the expression, like grasping at straws, they never say anything, I think, in those movies to go against this, right? Like that's what I was saying. Like even I was talking about the Discord with Taylor. He's always say X, Y, Z about how Prometheus breaks canon, blah blah blah. But it's like, yeah, but technically they don't give you the full answer. So it's like that could say like it breaks canon for what we thought. Because the tough thing is we've seen Alien, and for our entire life we thought it was this way, right? But it's like, oh well, now it's this, like that. But I get that because I'm somebody that fucking hates that in Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, and Anakin fought again. For me, that's like a big like I can't handle this. Doesn't work for me no matter
Learn
what.
about
So
Boba. It's not a thing. Don't need to know that answer.
yeah, but at least that's like okay. He's just like that was bad writing. It bugs me more when it's like, oh, this is so. This one
Like
doesn't
changing
affect me
history
as bad,
more so.
but I will not fight you on the point because I have those same points in prequels. I'm like just
And,
grinds
like,
my gears, doesn't work.
I don't even have to bring it up anymore. Like in the early episodes, it's like this is like a shadow over me, thinking about like what's going on with Ripley and just that xenomorph. I am so far away from that of like even need to mention those complaints because I'm like now I'm just judging the product and I'm really not liking the product.
I also agreed with you last week when they had the eye thing. I get it, that's a little enhanced, but I didn't like the human kind of fucking up the alien there for a little bit. It just that didn't work for me.
Oh man, when he jumps
Yeah.
on him and
To me, that should have been a jump, and then the alien slices
Like,
and moves forward.
yeah, like literally just cuts him in half in like one go. But
Yeah. No,
just built
ridiculous.
different. The eyeball, it just buffs human
Yeah,
bodies. I
and
guess.
maybe I would have, and that's how again I try to headcanon that maybe it just is like a steroid, right? Gets in you, and all of a sudden reflexes,
Yeah.
strength, all that's big. So that's how I can try to headcanon that, even though it feels
Which
odd. But
does happen in day to day. You know, like you hear
Yeah.
stories, people all fucked up on angel dust, and they get like 6 shots, and they just keep running. It's just,
Yeah.
it's insane.
or even real life stuff like adrenaline, right? Like all those stories about like a mom
true.
lifting a car to get their kids
Totally.
because and stuff. So, is there anything they? Let's see. Yeah, so I like the husband gave, which that was my other point. You talk about dumb characters. For me, it's the brother of 2 weeks ago has this full thing of, she could have another life, and the Alfred, bald Alfred, just lays down like, hey. And this is true, like whatever you feel about, she's a piece of property. It's great that she's back. She's your sister, but that's not your sister. She'll never go anywhere. So again, in this episode, when he's talking to Olafon, like, oh, like, how long does it take for her to charge? He's like, why do you want to know that? Well, when she's gonna graduate and done here. And he's just like, what do you think's happening? Like, I don't get, like, does he think that he's gonna ask someone from this
He
company and they'll
literally
be
had,
like,
an escape diagram showing like when
Yes.
Slightly comes in, you like see him sketching like, okay, 90 paces to this door. Like, what the fuck does he think is gonna happen here?
well, yeah, but I just don't get, why does he keep going around being like, oh, she's gonna be done, right? Like, I would think that already we'd look at the situation and be like, oh, my sister's never leaving here. But if you didn't get that, you would think at least when the Boy Wonder's assistant told him, like, no, that it's not happening, that would be your clue. And the fact that, again, he went to Oliphant, like, yeah, she's going to be able to leave here, right? It's like, what are you talking about, man? Like, they just make him seem so dumb because to me, it's like either he's dumb or, the joke, he's stupid because he's just revealing his plan. Because, like, a bunch of characters can be like, oh, yeah, her brother keeps asking about when she done. So he's probably going to try and get the escape out of here. Now, luckily, I think for him next week is I think it's going to go buck wild the facility, and that's how they could escape, right? Because I think he's making a plan. Clearly, Wendy, aka Marcy, has already seen the light of like, this place is fucked up. This is actually really bad. So I think they're going to use that, take advantage of that. But I did like the soldiers this time too. Same thing. He's asking all of them, oh, so many boats go by and how many people do this?
Oh,
and I love that one lady's like, hey, just shut the fuck up. Like, I don't want to be part of any of this. So again, he's telling everybody under the moon, like, I'm going to escape and get out of here. But so yeah, that's one that was a stickler for me that I just thought they've made that very... that character just seemed very dumb because anybody would understand, like, oh yeah, he's trying to escape. Like, we should probably just get rid of him, kill him, whatever, But no, this is the worst security in the world here. So
It really is. It really is. No, I'm glad you mentioned that because like I think it was last week, maybe the week prior. Whenever he's like first here and he gets the surgery and everything, like I'm kind of okay with him asking those questions. Like, can we, can I take my sister and get out of here? But like this week, because like you said, like he's already had that conversation. It's like you can leave, like she's not going anywhere. She's property, but like we're gonna bill you for that lung. And like if he escapes, I imagine in this world it's pretty fucking easy to find people. Like it's already easy to find people, like you already mentioned, in our day to day of just how we are so easily tracked. And I imagine Prodigy like. Supposedly they just own like portions of the world. Like they're probably living in Prodigy territory. I would imagine, unless they're really going just incognito. But yeah, I did like that chick just call him out. Yeah, no, it's goofball character.
Is there anything else? Talk about him, Oliphant, the boardroom, Murrow.
Yeah, what do you think's gonna happen with Nibs? Do you think she's like next week? It's just gonna be a therapy between her and
I
the
think
lady
she
again?
could kill that lady. 100%. I think there's a good chance that she freaks out and kills her, and that's the end of that wife.
Like, what's gonna
character.
happen with the sheep area and whatever? And like, is she gonna even ask where this guy is? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't even. Her supposed.
Well, I think that's
husband.
why they'll kill her quickly. So then they don't even deal with that. They don't have to
okay.
worry about that. Maybe she'll call him back, and he'll go to voicemail, and Nibs will knock on the door, being like, "I'm pregnant, right?" And then right away from 1 to 10. But I think she'll die very quickly. I think obviously there's gonna be another xenomorph out there, and there's still like the baby xenomorph too that's growing and growing, right? So it's like
Wendy's gonna ride that thing off the island with her.
I
her
really
brother
hope
on the
not.
back.
If there's teamwork, I don't love the idea of her talking to Xenomorph, but I can kind of get a little bit on board of like secrecy. God, I'm butchering the word. Like, what is it if someone were to talk and there's like
Telekinetic.
no syncrasies or sequences. It'd be something like if you're on a radio or whatnot. But anyways, I can
I
buy
can't
that.
help you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So sequentially, um, so,
Subsequently. Wait. Oh no.
I can buy that. I don't like that they can start talking to them, but maybe this thing's so advanced, it is like just another language, right? So that's fine. If there is the controlling, the working together, yeah, I'm not on board for that. But yeah, there could be two Xenos running around, the one in the husband and then the one that breaks out. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think next week is going to be big pandemonium. I don't think it's going to be a slow build. Like I think this series had a lot of slow build, and even then I guess last week wasn't. But I think that next week is going to be. I could be wrong, and maybe that's the finale, but it's either this episode or the next episode where this whole facility is going to hell, and it's going to be a lot of bloodshed. And so that, in my opinion, I just think it would be the penultimate, and then the finale kind of deals with a lot of the fallout of these characters of who's left, and kind of tailing off some storylines, but I could be wrong.
Mhm.
Maybe they do a bit of both. So
No, I could definitely see it. It's been a little bit of a. I guess last week we had some action, so
yeah,
I was gonna say a lull in the action, at least on Earth in this area.
yeah. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think I got all my my grievances off my chest. We'll see what happens next week. I'll
Mhm.
still be here. I'm
Watch next.
invested.
Hey, who knows? Last week obviously it had some of the throwback, felt like the original Alien, but last week you said was your favorite episode, and then big decline here. So maybe next
Yeah.
week's just another killer one. Maybe that's just the show where it's kind of lots of ebbs and flows. That maybe the storytelling isn't the best, but and I still, I guess the reason why I always I'm waiting for the end is because, like I've said before, I'm a big Noah Hawley fan. Legion was a big payoff as far as that. I think there's some things you can't recover, like that husband storyline. That's non-savable. That's done. Like there's nothing that can fix that for me. But
Next week's just a full flashback, and it's only those two characters. It's just it's like a marriage story.
they start from
essentially,
when
just
they're
one
like
episode.
teenagers and they meet and everything.
It's like an Up type
Yes,
of relationship where you're just
but for
bawling
an
your eyes
hour.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we will be back next week to discuss the penultimate episode. Should be a good one. Taylor should be back for that, and then we'll have the finale. And yeah, let us know. Discord, Patreon, YouTube, wherever your theories, anything we're missing, anything we get wrong, we're always down to, as long as you pitch in like a, hey, you didn't think about from this thing, or hey, you missed this, or hey, if you're wondering about this, answer that way. We're always down for discussion. We love conversating with people, love being wrong, because that means we can open our eyes to new perspectives and stuff. But yeah, let us know. We'll be back next week with more Alien, and I promise you it'll not be boring.